The great psychologist Carl Jung once gave us a powerful and almost dangerous metaphor for love. He wrote, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed." We are all drawn to this beautiful alchemical promise of transformation. But what happens when the reaction is not a brilliant synthesis, but a volatile explosion that leaves you burned? Or worse, a slow, quiet reaction that you don't even notice is completely dissolving you. Many of us walk through life believing that intense emotion is the sign of a great love. But from a depth psychology perspective, many of the things our culture romanticizes are, in fact, serious red flags. They are not signs of a soulmate connection, but symptoms of an unhealed wound. Today, we are not here to create rules for love. We are here to learn to see with clarity. We will explore 7 psychological red flags, inspired by Jung's work, that signal a relationship is not a partnership, but a projection. This is a journey to help you distinguish true love from a beautiful illusion. 1. You start losing yourself. The first and most fundamental red flag is the slow, quiet disappearance of you. You meet someone, and in your desire to connect, you begin to unconsciously adopt their hobbies, their music tastes, their opinions, even their way of speaking. At first it feels like harmony, but over time, you wake up one day and realize you don't know what music you like anymore. You don't know what your own opinion is. Your own inner voice has become a faint echo of theirs. Think of a woman who always loved hiking in the mountains and listening to indie rock. She meets a partner who is passionate about art museums and classical music. A year later, she realizes her hiking boots are collecting dust, and her music playlist is now filled with Bach and Mozart, artists she respects, but doesn't truly love. She didn't make a conscious choice to give up her passions. They just silently faded away to make more space for his. Carl Jung called the mask we wear to be accepted the persona. In a healthy relationship, you can take your mask off. In a relationship based on this red flag, you are simply trading your mask for theirs. If you cannot hear your own voice in a relationship, you are not living a love story. You are living in someone else's script. 2. Your relationship is a constant roller coaster. Our culture romanticizes the dramatic roller coaster relationship, the explosive fights followed by passionate, tearful reconciliations. We are taught to mistake this intensity for intimacy, this chaos for passion. Imagine a couple gets into a massive door-slamming fight on Friday night over something trivial, like being a few minutes late. They spend Saturday in a dramatic, resentful silence. Then, on Saturday night, they have an intense reconciliation, declaring, "No one else makes me feel this alive." They mistake the emotional whiplash of the high-low cycle for deep love, when in fact, it's an unstable and addictive pattern. From a psychological perspective, this is often a sign of a trauma bond, not a healthy connection. The relationship is not sustained by love, but by the addictive chemical rush of the drama. Peace feels boring. Stability feels like stagnation. The philosopher Søren Kierkegaard described a stage of life based on chasing intense moments to avoid inner emptiness. A relationship built on chaos is not a partnership. It is two people using each other to avoid the quiet work of knowing themselves. 3. You believe they complete you. You complete me. It is perhaps the most famous romantic line in modern history, but from a Jungian perspective, it is one of the most dangerous. The idea that you are an incomplete half, searching for another half to make you whole, is a recipe for dependency. It places the impossible burden on another person to solve your inner life. Think about this. A young man feels aimless and insecure. He meets a partner who is very decisive, confident, and has a strong social circle. He latches on, telling his friends, "I was so lost before I met her. She gives my life direction and purpose." He hasn't found a partner. He has outsourced his own development. He is using her wholeness to patch over his own emptiness. Jung's entire philosophy of individuation is the journey of becoming whole within yourself. A true soul connection is not the meeting of two halves. It is the meeting of two whole individuals. Love is not meant to complete you. It is meant to complement the wholeness you have already found. 4. You can't be in silence together. Can you sit with this person in comfortable, peaceful silence? Or does the quiet feel so awkward and empty that one of you must immediately fill it with chatter, a distraction, the TV, or your phones? Here's a modern example. A couple goes on a scenic drive through the mountains. The view is breathtaking. Yet, the moment there is a natural pause in the conversation, one of them immediately turns on a podcast or starts scrolling through their phone. They fill every potential moment of quiet presence with external noise. The French philosopher Blaise Pascal once wrote, "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone." This applies to two people as well. If your connection can only exist in a state of noise, it may not be a true connection at all. It might be a shared escape. You are not addicted to each other. You are addicted to the distraction you provide for each other. A destined connection is not afraid of the quiet spaces. It finds its deepest strength there. 5. One of you is always saving the other. This is the dynamic of the fixer and the broken one. One person is always in crisis and the other is always rushing in to save them. This can feel noble. It can feel like profound love and care. But often, it is a trauma bond in disguise. Think of this: one partner is consistently making poor financial decisions and is always on the verge of being evicted. The other partner, the savior, always swoops in at the last minute to pay their rent, scolding them, but also feeling secretly powerful and needed. The rescuer gets to feel like a hero, avoiding their own life by managing someone else's. The one being rescued never has to face the real-world consequences of their actions and therefore never truly grows up. It is not a partnership of equals. It is a psychological loop where neither person is allowed to become a whole, self-reliant individual. True love is not about one person saving the other. It is about two sovereign people choosing to walk together, side by side, as they save themselves. 6. They secretly compete with you. This is a subtle but deeply corrosive red flag. You share good news, and instead of pure, spontaneous joy, you are met with a flicker of something else. Imagine you come home, thrilled, and say, "My boss just told me I'm getting a raise." A truly supportive partner would light up and say, "That's incredible. We have to celebrate." But a secretly competitive partner might immediately respond with, "Oh, that's nice. My boss mentioned today that I'm on track to lead the new international project." They couldn't just let you have your moment of success. They had to immediately put their own achievement on the table to ensure they win the conversation. An insecure partner sees your success as a reflection of their own failure. They are keeping an invisible scoreboard in their mind. Healthy connections are built on mutual celebration, not on a silent, undeclared competition. 7. Your future together is always conditional. This is a powerful and often invisible form of manipulation. In this dynamic, the future you desire is always dangled just out of reach, like a carrot on a stick. Thinking about a couple has been together for years. One person wants to get married and build a future. The other partner says, "I'm almost ready. I will be, as soon as you learn to be a little less anxious," or "as soon as we have a bit more money saved up," even though they make no active effort to save. The goalpost for commitment is always moving, keeping the other person in a state of constant auditioning, always trying to earn the love and security that should be the very foundation of the relationship. True love is a present-day commitment, not a future prize that can be taken away if you don't perform correctly. The meeting of two wholes. Recognizing these patterns in your relationships is not a cause for despair. It is a powerful call to a deeper form of self-love. These red flags are not signs that other people are bad. They are symptoms of relationships based on unconscious needs, projections, and unhealed wounds. The journey is not to find a person who can be your other half. The journey is to become so completely and unapologetically yourself that you no longer have a missing half to be filled. When you do this sacred work of individuation, the entire magnetic frequency of your being changes. You stop attracting relationships that mirror your wounds, and you start attracting connections that reflect your wholeness. The goal is not to merge into one, but to be two whole, sovereign beings, choosing to walk together, not out of need, but out of a shared, resonant joy.